Grand Lake Stream is a plantation in Washington County, Maine. When the 2010 census was taken, the population was 109. The town is named after the stream that flows through the town, which is known for its excellent landlocked salmon fishery and a fishing tradition that dates back to the middle of the 19th century.
It ain't about miles, ain't about age, ain't about how long it took to reach this place. It ain't about fear, ain't about pride, ain't about all the stuff you hold inside. It's about time, it's about us, it's about all the rest returning to dust. When push is about to come to shove, it's about time, it's about love. It ain't about fame, ain't about money, ain't about the claim you stake in the land of milk and honey. It ain't about words, ain't about vows, ain't about anything but what you do right now. It's about time, it's about us, it's about all the rest returning to dust. When push is about to come to shove, it's about time, it's about love. When someone you know is walking through the fire, don't wait to see which way the wind blows. Your own good luck may one day expire, and brother, then you'll be the one who knows. It's about time, it's about us, it's about all the rest returning to dust. When push is about to come to shove, it's about time, it's about love. When push is about to come to shove, it's about time, it's about love.
Les Severance.
Les Severance. And what brought you to Grand Lake Stream, Les?
I worked at Lincoln Mill in Lincoln. The mill closed. My daughter had married Danny Bailey, which they lived over here, and we come over to visit Nicole and Danny and the grandkids, and we kind of liked it over here. So that's what really brought us to Grand Lake Stream.
And where are you from originally?
I'm originally from Carroll Plantation, or we were living in Lee at the time, so we came here from Lee.
And what made you actually make the move? Was it the store, or?
We see an opportunity at the store. I was there again. I was laid off at the mill. The grandkids were over here. We said, well, let's see if we can buy the store. It was for sale, and everything worked out. We wound up with the store. Right here around 8 years.
Okay. Now, being in Grand Lake and owning the store, that's kind of like where everybody comes to see other people and to buy their groceries and things. What other things are you involved with in Grand Lake?
Well, since I've come to Grand Lake, I've joined the fire department. I've joined the historical society, and I'm also the trail master of the snowmobile club.
Wow, you have a lot of titles.
Yes,
A lot of
yes,
responsibilities.
I really enjoy it, and it can be a lot of fun, and it's a community thing, and the store is like the center point of the town. If we didn't have a town office, the store would be the town office. There's an ambulance comes to town, everybody calls the store. What's the ambulance doing in town? If a state trooper comes to town, they call the store. What's the state trooper doing in town? The sheriff or what have you. Did you see so and so go flying through town? What's going? The store is the center point of Grand Lake Street.
I would call this the communication hub of Grand
Yes,
Lake Stream.
yes,
Exactly.
it is. Yep.
Very good. Okay. How was the Pine Tree store different from other businesses that basically even folded during the pandemic?
Well, we're kind of off the grid. We're not in the center of a metropolitan type of businesses. We have a lot of wilderness out here, and because of the ATV trails and the ATV laws, all the streets in Grand Lake Stream are ATV friendly. And what people could do during the pandemic was they could get out on their side by sides in their ATVs, and they would be social distancing, and they wouldn't be interacting like people in the inner cities. And they would come to the store and get their gas and get their food to go and go back out, and they would a lot of people bought ATVs, and the ATV industry has really increased since the COVID thing because of that, and it really did benefit our business to a degree, where other businesses have struggled.
Homes, my wife Karen, we own a piece of property on Grand Lake.
How long have you owned it?
44 years.
How long has it been in your family?
Oh, Dad bought it in 1943. But no,
Tell them how much you bought it for.
$1.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. But we're up here all the time. You know, we live in southern New Hampshire, but we kind of in love with the place. So if we get a week or two, we come up here or there. Maybe, hopefully, now that I'm retired, 5-6 times a year. The kids come up, my son comes up, and hopefully it's planned as a family camp. You know, my dad owned it for a while and he's passed it to me. I just passed it to my son. And go to my grandson, keep it going.
You live on the water?
We have a camp right on the water. Yeah.
Big
yeah.
Lake or Grand Lake?
Grand Lake.
Big Mayberry Cove.
Yeah, Big Mayberry.
Big Mayberry Cove, yeah.
We've been up here for years. When I was a kid, before we really had a camp up here, even though Dad owned the property, we spent all our vacations on Big Lake, which was really nice.
Did you fish? Are you a fishing family?
Oh, God, yeah. Oh, yeah. And the kids
Ice
come up.
fishing too.
Ice fish, bass fishing up here is wonderful. Just a matter of fact, I took my grandsons out yesterday.
One of those generational things, and now you're seeing the benefits of you owning the camp,
Yes.
and now your son, your grandchildren are here enjoying it too.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. It's going on
it
for
seems
years.
that when people, I won't say settle, I'll say even visit Grand Lake Stream, it gets under your skin, and you kind of can't leave it. You
oh,
can't
yeah.
leave Grand Lake Stream. It becomes a unique part of your life. It's
Oh
true.
yeah, out of all the
Very true.
other lakes and stuff that we used to boat on down home, Winnipesaukee, Winnisquam, and that type of thing, I don't go out there anymore because it's just no fun. You know,
Much boat traffic.
there's a million boats. No matter where you're on the lake, there's waves coming every direction. There's not a piece of shoreline that doesn't have a camp or a home or a mansion. And up here you can troll for a half hour or so, never go by a camp. There's not a lot up here, but
I was told the water was like glass yesterday. That it
yeah,
was
yesterday,
Yeah, it was.
yesterday it was. I took the boys fishing, and I don't know, we probably caught a half a dozen nice-sized bass. You know, it's just a beautiful day out there.
Right in front of our camp off the pile of rocks.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I'll get a chance to do it again today.
Yeah, well, one of our other grandson wants to jump off of, the big thing is Caribou Rock. Now the water is so high, he doesn't have to jump so, far down. It's not as deep jumping off.
Yeah, because Grandpa isn't jumping off anything now.
Yeah.
But when Grandpa was little, he did.
Oh,
Yeah,
God, yeah.
and
And now you're seeing your babies do it.
And actually, I
Exactly.
did it till I can't do it anymore because of my back.
Yeah.
But if I could do it, I would. But
Yes.
I can't. But
My husband used to brag about jumping off the boathouses over there.
Oh, yeah. I remember
Yeah.
doing that when I was a kid.
Yeah.
yeah,
That was a big thing.
Yes.
I don't know if they do that anymore.
yeah,
No guts, no glory.
yeah.
Um,
Yep, and my daughter is here and her two grandsons right now. Our son's coming tomorrow, and he'll stay to the end of the week.
Kind of a work week. Paint
We
the
did
camp, clean stuff up.
We did a few years ago expand it so it's twice the size, so we can have
Nice.
lots of people. We got like 7 bedrooms now, but it still is very rustic because we wanted them to keep it that way.
yes.
My daughter, who's here now, who doesn't come up as often, she likes it the way it used to be, and she's having a hard time with the change
Yeah.
because it's different. I said to her, because we just hooked up so we have water now.
Hot water,
I said,
running water.
I don't know if you can take a shower now. She goes, I'm going to take a bath in the lake like I always have.
That's part of the experience, I
Yeah,
think, sometimes.
so,
Yeah.
but as we get older,
You want the luxuries. You
Oh,
want,
I like
we
the
need,
convenience.
We need the luxuries more, like I told her, because then it allows us to come up longer, enjoy where we love to be.
right.
Because we can't carry the water down there and do what we used to do. So,
Not as easily,
Yeah.
anyways.
yeah.
We
so-
used to roll gas tanks up over a huge hill to get to the camp.
No.
Yes, and we had gas, but it was just such a
Mm.
trip to get it up there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Then most people, I would say at least 95% of the people come here. They absolutely love it.
Yes.
Absolutely. Every once in a while you run into somebody that because it doesn't have the luxury of blow drying your hair or whatever, you know what I mean? But there's not that many that are like that because
Yeah.
there is if you can't relax at Grand Lake Stream, there's something wrong with you.
I agree with you. That is well said. If
Yeah.
you can't relax and be at peace, sit on a rock and watch the.
Yeah, and
I
do
know.
nothing but just chill.
Sit back and relax.
Yes,
Yep,
perfect.
yeah. There is no place like it.
Now
for
we're
sure.
sitting at the Pine Tree Store, which a lot of people have stories about the Pine Tree Store, and a lot of people
Oh,
have
yeah.
feelings about the Pine Tree Store.
Oh,
Has a lot
yeah.
of history. How do you folks view the Pine Tree Store?
It's a wonderful place. It really is. We've seen it go from so many different hands,
Yeah.
And when it first started out to, I think there's been like 2 or 3 owners that I remember.
Yeah.
In the winter I've been up here and they're bending their reeds and stuff. One guy was making backpacks.
Oh wow, right
Oh
in
yeah,
here.
and that was in the store because there weren't a lot of people up here doing it. But since these guys have taken over, this store is hopping all the time.
It
you
seems
know,
to be. Whenever I'm here, this is the place to be.
yeah.
And it's
oh,
a
yeah.
nice place to just
Yeah.
Food is excellent. The people are fantastic to deal with, talk with. They've really done a wonderful job. Now the hours are longer, so it's very comfortable to go in and sit and have a sandwich or, a cup of coffee if you like that, and just relax. But it's just such a, this building has been here as long as I can remember.
Yes.
It's always looked the same.
Yeah.
But everything changes a little bit as you go along.
It's always a good change.
Yeah, it is. It is very
this
much
is the
so.
best change yet.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, Brenda and Les do a great job. They're wonderful people.
Are you fishermen?
Oh, God, yeah.
You are? So that's an everyday occurrence too, probably?
Well, if I could, but there's always something else to do up to camp and hang around. And there's nothing wrong with just sitting down, relaxing, having a beer.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. No law against that.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's all good up here.
So you'd recommend Grand Lake to anybody?
Oh, my God, yes. Yes.
We would.
My name is Brenda Shaw. I came to Grand Lake when I was 10 years old. Then I was Brenda Newman. My mom had just taken a position as a teacher in the two-room school. And so one day we took a ride up this long, very long road full of trees. And I thought to myself, where are these people taking me? So we drive into town and we came to this beautiful little village. And the first two things I remember are how beautiful the school was and this store. And this store became pivotal in our lives because eventually Mom and Dad took it over 2 different times.
Wow.
So that's how I started to come to Grand Lake. And you, Sue?
My name is Sue Whiteley, and I came to Grand Lake Stream when I was about 58, I think. A long time ago, it feels like. We had bought a camp out at Fourth Machias Lake in 1993, and we rebuilt it, and we used to come there for vacations. And in 2000, the land trust was just started.
That's right, yeah.
And my husband was involved with that. And so we would come and stay at camp. However, it's a primitive camp with no plumbing and no electricity. And we would stay there for a week at a time, and that was quite a long time, at least it felt like it. So we, one day we were in here visiting some people, and I said, you know, maybe we should have a house in this little town.
Yeah.
So that started the search for a house, which lasted 2 years. And we bought a piece of property on Tough End. And then the Blash House came up for sale. And we bought that in 2004 and did some renovations. And then we renovated a camp across the street. And then we renovated another camp across the street. And
I'm tired.
and I just love it here. It's a wonderful little town.
Yeah. Okay.
So what is your relationship here in Grand Lake now?
I am a part-time resident of Grand Lake. The more time I get to spend here, the better I like it. There is peace here like I do not find in any other place. And I mean, I've traveled extensively, but my heart's always in Grand Lake Stream. The air is fresher, I sleep better. Grand Lake is where I want to be.
You like the water.
I do love the water. Yes, I do.
And Sue, what are you involved with in Grand Lake?
Oh, what am I
Everything.
involved with? Well, let's see. When we first came here, we were involved in the land trust. My husband was very active in the trust, and I am still on the education committee at the trust. We put a lot of the programs for children and that sort of thing. And then in 2011, many of us were trying to figure out how to be healthier. So we decided to start a little group to either lose weight or try to. And that became the Women to Women group here in town, which I'm part of. And it's a wonderful group. We do all kinds of things. We have had yard sales and that sort of thing, and we've raised money for the benches that you see around town. We've bought televisions for the school. What else have we
You have
done?
a book club?
There's the book club with the land trust, which has just started last year. And this year they'll be doing 3 books this summer.
Wow.
And let's see, what else am I involved
I've
with?
noticed a lot of trails in this.
There,
Yes.
the land trust has really done a wonderful job building trails, and there are 2 that go out from right here in town. One from the end of Tough End, and one over by the parking lot at the dam. And then there are several farther away from town. Let's see. Oh, the other thing that the women's group does is put on the luncheon for people who've lost family members or friends. So it's a wonderful tradition. Honestly, our group organizes it, but the entire town is asked to make something, and everyone is so generous. And I just think it's one of the nicest things here. It's real community, and people are just so happy to help, and there are no restaurants really or places to have such a thing right here. So that's one of the things I really, really like doing. And
People are very kind.
Extremely kind, especially when the chips are down.
And when the chips are down, that's right.
That's the difference, I think, between a small place like this. And when we were growing up, we were like, all I can think of is the bus, Morris. There were 16 of us, and we squawked, and we fought, and we played. But heaven help the person who really got to a Grand Laker, because we became a solid block. But if we could just go back, and I think of Sonny Sprague and Walter Brown and us kids on that bus, I don't know where they came up with the patience that they had. But those bus rides, I think, are probably some of the most memorable times that I ever had. You loved them, you hated them, you were mad, you were never going to speak to this one again, and yet the next day they were your best friend. So that's the way it was with us, always.
I get kicked off the bus twice. 2 weeks.
One thing that Morris mentioned too is that there's no class difference here.
No.
People can come in with a lot of money. People can come in with hardly any money. And they're all the same.
Yes.
There's no class here. You can't tell who the haves or the have-nots
Exactly.
are. And I love that.
Yeah.
And people that are here temporarily are treated the same as if you were a native.
Yeah.
I mean, I was definitely not from here, but coming here, I've been welcomed with open arms whenever I'm here. And I think people are so accommodating and wonderful. They make you feel part of them.
Yeah.
It's
so unique and special.
Well, it is, and I was just going to mention, this is something that's it doesn't get mentioned very often here, but a few years ago, a group of people got together and started a community supper, which takes place every Wednesday night in the summertime, and it's a potluck. Everybody's welcome, and you bring your dish and your chair and your utensils and so on, and we go out to various beaches or somebody's camp or whatever. But it's been a wonderful thing to bring together the people who are here only in the summertime. Because
That's nice.
one of the things that I know from having a camp here is you come for a week's vacation and you never come into town, and you only get to know the people right beside you.
Yeah.
And I just think it's a wonderful thing.
It is a wonderful thing.
Yeah. And
Because you have so much in common by coming here.
oh,
Just
exactly.
coming here, you
And
have so much in common.
Yeah. And I think people have become more connected even to the town of Grand Lake Stream because
think
they've
so,
gotten
too.
to know people.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. That's a very good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sense of community.
Yeah.
Exactly. Oh, yeah. And
Well,
we have new pickleball courts here in town.
Wow.
Everyone's using them.
Yeah.
It's wonderful that they lined the tennis courts. The town did this. That they lined the tennis courts for pickleball. And wow, it's taken off.
Isn't that funny? Yeah. I heard a lot of people, I've never played it.
Well,
it's like
I
I never
haven't
played
either.
bocce ball either until I went to Florida, and it's like, well, I still can't.
I haven't.
If it's a ball, I can miss it no matter where it is. I was one of the token Grand Lakers on our basketball team. The only reason I played on the basketball team was I was a head taller than everybody else. Could I shoot a basket? Not on your life. But Bonnie and Beth and Brenda and even Elaine, when she was playing for Woodland, these girls, these tiny little girls, had this ability, and they all kept saying the name Mr. Hunnewell, Mr. Hunnewell. Well, this man had worked with these kids, all these kids, boys and girls, which is what I love. He taught them how to play ball. Well, I was just a big lump in the middle of the court. I was tall, I could catch the ball, but I could not play. But I was a Grand Laker, so I was. So that's how I got on the basketball team. That was the only reason. It's like, but those girls could play ball, and I mean, everything we did was always fun. Somebody always had access to a boat. Somebody always had access to snowmobiles. Whether it was going up to the lake and going up to Caribou Rock and jumping off, having picnics. In the winter, we'd go, remember when we used to shovel a cove and then go down to Big Lake and shovel it off and skate and have, fires? I mean, and it was, nobody was ever excluded. I think that's what I liked about us, because we were like a family. We were a very tight-knit little family.
And I bet kids of all ages played together.
Yeah, and there were, like I said, the high school age when Morris and I went to school, I think there were 16 of us. And I mean, like I said, we squabbled, we fought, we played, and I mean, it was the best time ever. I am so grateful that I was able to grow up here, and
Do you
met
still,
my husband here.
When you come back, do you still feel that insulation from the craziness of the world when you're here?
Absolutely, that's why I come.
Yes.
I mean, I love the fact that the pace hasn't picked up here. Even going home, it's like the cars zipping by. It's like, oh my word! Come back to Grand Lake, and I smile all the way down the airline. I always have.
Cleared,
Yes, I do. I love it here. It's home.
It is a wonderful little town. However, that said, I think there's a lot that goes on here. I sat down one day, I think I put it on Facebook, and thought of all the things that kids can do here.
Yes.
My grandchildren love to come here. They've learned to fish here. They've learned to ride their bikes here.
Yeah.
They've gone tubing in the stream.
Ripped your bathing suit on the rocks. Because we rip your bathing suit on the rocks. So we've done it all.
Yes.
But these are the things, this is what you share with those that come after you.
Yes.
It's like even my little great-grandchildren think Middle Walk is the most wonderful place.
It is.
And I have brought so many people here, and to a person, they fall right in love with this place.
Yeah.
My second husband hadn't been here more than maybe 2 or 3 years, and he looked at me one day, he says, this is serious. He says, if anything happens to me, can I be buried here? The man had a camp over on Machias River, and he lived in Harrington all his life. He'd never been here. He fell totally in love with this place. So he is resting with my first husband and son in the cemetery, and I'll join them soon.
Yeah, not too soon.
Not too soon.
Not too soon. No, I think a lot of people, I have a lot of company, and everyone who comes, I mean, I've had them say, well, how hard is it to find a house here? Or how, everybody's just really, it's a great little town. And the other thing I was going to say about grandchildren is that they here they can walk to the store when they're young.
That is huge.
They can walk to the store, get an ice cream, or come and get a sandwich.
Safely.
And you're not in fear for them.
Yeah, and I'll tell a story about Brenda here at the store. One day, my 2 grandchildren, they probably were 8 or 9, and they had come over for lunch, and they were sitting at the table, and somebody was in there from away, and they looked
those people from
away, yes, and they said, "Who are these children, and why are they here by themselves?" And Brenda said, "You don't need to worry about those children. All the guys in Grand Lake Stream are on them.
Yep.
We know exactly who they are."
Excellent.
Yep.
It's just so wonderful.
It
is. And we have had so much fun with kids here.
Yep.
Really,
It's
a great
That's a very good point.
community.
Yep.
I mean, there's lots to do for adults
Yes.
too.
But
If you
but the
stop
children
and
is
think
the
about
big
it.
one.
My niece and nephew that are here with me now, one is a junior in college and the other one's starting college this fall, and they still want to come to Grand Lake. They've been all over the world with their parents, but Grand Lake, this is Larry's son and daughter.
Yes.
And they couldn't wait. They missed it last summer because they're both working. So they finagled their schedules so that they could get a few days up here.
Oh,
and they want to
nice.
come back, and I just love it. that's the thing about Grand Lake that's different. Usually when your kids get to be teenagers,
Oh, exactly.
teenagers or grandchildren, their lives deviate from yours and you're
sure.
not as important as you were. But Grand Lake is the glue that holds them together because they always want to come back. They always do.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. And this store is a huge part of this community.
Yes,
it really is. I
Yeah.
I'd
mean,
like
the
to
fact,
talk about that
yeah, it's a.
because it seems like the hub, the communication hub.
Oh, it is.
It was when
Yeah.
Mom and Dad, we were, what was I, a junior, and I think Shelby was a freshman when Mom and Dad had this store. We spent a whole summer up there. Somebody got the bright idea that we needed sandwiches in the store. Well, I never made so many Italian sandwiches in my life. And it's like we cursed the day that salami was made.
Oh.
It was like, oh no.
So
Because-
your family started the food in the store?
Well, I don't know if Barbara and Kenny did or not. I don't think they did because I remember Mom saying these fishermen are hungry. They're really hungry. And then in the
Yeah.
fall, they needed to eat.
Sure.
So we got to make the sandwiches. And I mean, I cannot believe the amount. That kitchen up there was loaded with vegetables and stuff. Thank goodness.
You mean
they did-
upstairs?
Yeah,
Oh,
we made them
really?
upstairs because we lived upstairs.
All right.
And that was
Yeah.
our part of the deal is to make those sandwiches. And I mean, we made a lot of sandwiches, but it was a convenience for the people
Oh,
that came
sure.
here.
Oh,
I don't know what
absolutely.
anyone did. They must have had to bring their own food or just eat junk while they were here.
Yeah, yeah.
But we did the sandwiches for that whole summer and into the fall. And it's
Well,
like, well,
particularly for people who weren't staying at any
Right.
of the lodges.
yeah,
You know,
exactly.
they wouldn't have had. They wouldn't have had access to
No.
fast food.
No. But I mean, this was like a love-hate relationship
Oh,
with
I
us. Of
bet.
course, as teenagers, we wanted the freedom to come and go. Well, sometimes we had to stay here.
You had the
Yeah.
responsibility.
Yeah. And it didn't kill us.
No.
Certainly.
No.
And you know, it was
It
good.
taught you a lot.
It taught us a lot. Yeah.
I think you and Jackie found a little freedom.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
yeah. All right. No, Morris, that's not a very nice thing to say. Yes, we did. We found all kinds of freedom.